Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, first published in 1957, is one of the most influential and controversial novels of the 20th century. Set in a dystopian future where the government's control over the economy and individual freedoms has reached alarming heights, the novel explores themes of individualism, self-interest, and the role of government in personal lives. Through its complex characters and gripping plot, Rand presents a philosophical framework known as Objectivism, which is the core philosophy of the novel. Objectivism advocates for rational self-interest, the pursuit of personal happiness, and capitalism as the only moral system. At its heart, Atlas Shrugged is a narrative about the collapse of a society that punishes creativity, achievement, and ambition in favor of mediocrity, collectivism, and state control. The novel's central question is, what happens when the world's greatest minds and innovators decide to stop working and shrug off their contributions to a society that doesn't value them? The book addresses the power of the individual versus the collective and the consequences of stifling personal freedom and economic liberty. The novel unfolds in a society where the government enforces economic controls and collectivist policies, which begin to dismantle the productivity of the nation's greatest entrepreneurs, scientists, and artists. As the leaders of industry start disappearing mysteriously, the question emerges, who is John Galt? Plot overview: the disappearance of the creators. The story takes place in a near-future America where the government has taken control of nearly every aspect of life. Repressive laws have been passed which penalize success and reward mediocrity. Over time, the most creative and productive individuals, known as the creators, begin to vanish, leaving behind a society that stagnates and collapses under the weight of its own parasitic demands. The novel's protagonist, Dagny Taggart, is a brilliant and determined businesswoman who works for the Taggart Transcontinental Railroad. She is determined to keep her company alive, but as the government continues to impose regulations and incompetence spreads, she faces increasing challenges. Despite the challenges, Dagny remains committed to finding solutions and preserving what she believes in. Dagny's quest leads her to a series of encounters with other key characters, such as Hank Rearden, a self-made steel magnate, and Francisco D'Anconia, a brilliant industrialist. All of these individuals possess incredible minds, yet they struggle against a system that punishes their success. As they gradually discover who is behind the disappearance of the creators, they find that the man behind it all is John Galt, a mysterious figure who represents the culmination of Rand's philosophy of objectivism. Throughout the novel, we see the devastating impact of collectivism and statism on human creativity and productivity. As the world collapses, the creators retreat to a hidden valley where they are free to live by their principles of individualism, self-reliance, and free market capitalism. Dagny Taggart. Dagny Taggart is the novel's protagonist and one of the most iconic representations of Rand's philosophy. She is a strong, intelligent, and independent woman who values achievement and the power of the individual. Throughout the novel, Dagny battles the oppressive forces of collectivism and attempts to rebuild the nation's economy, all while searching for answers about the mysterious disappearance of the nation's greatest minds. Example: one of the central moments in the book is when Dagny refuses to abandon her railroad despite overwhelming opposition from the government and her peers. Her commitment to reason and her belief in the necessity of achievement define her character and make her a powerful embodiment of Rand's values. Hank Rearden. Hank Rearden is a self-made steel magnate, inventor, and businessman who represents the power of human creativity and innovation. He faces immense resistance from the government, which imposes restrictions on his ability to create and grow his business. Rearden's personal journey is one of self-realization as he learns to embrace the idea of self-interest and to reject the self-sacrificial mentality that has governed his life. Example: Hank's decision to stop allowing others to exploit his inventions and hard work represents a major turning point in the novel. He realizes that his creativity and contributions are being exploited for the sake of the collective, and his eventual decision to prioritize his own happiness and values exemplifies Rand's philosophy of rational self-interest. John Galt. John Galt is the novel's elusive hero and the embodiment of Rand's objectivist philosophy. Galt is the man who decides to shrug off the world's demands and lead a rebellion against a society that seeks to destroy individual greatness. His disappearance serves as the novel's central mystery, and his ultimate speech near the end of the novel is a lengthy but powerful declaration of Rand's ideas about the individual's role in society. Example: John Galt's speech in the novel is a philosophical manifesto in which he articulates his vision for a world where individuals live for their own sake, free from the interference of the state and the burdens of altruism. His ideas are radical and transformative, offering an alternative vision to the collectivist ideology that dominates the novel's world. Francisco d'Ancona. Francisco d'Ancona, a brilliant industrialist and one of the central figures in the novel, is one of the creators who disappears, and his story plays a critical role in the book's exploration of self-determination and the moral implications of wealth. Francisco's actions challenge the notion that wealth should be given away to the masses or used as a tool for guilt. Example: Francisco's decision to ruin his own copper business as part of a larger plan to expose the destructive consequences of collectivism reflects his deep commitment to the principles of individualism and capitalism. The philosophy of Objectivism. At its core, Atlas Shrugged is a manifesto for Objectivism, a philosophy developed by Ayn Rand. Objectivism is based on several core principles. The virtue of self-interest. The idea that individuals should act in their own rational self-interest rather than sacrificing their happiness or well-being for others. Rationality. The belief that reason is the only means of acquiring knowledge and that individuals should act according to reason rather than emotions or mysticism. Capitalism. Rand argues that free market capitalism is the only moral social system because it allows individuals to act according to their rational self-interest and rewards hard work, creativity, and innovation. The role of government. In Rand's view, the proper role of government is limited to protecting individual rights and maintaining law and order, rather than controlling or regulating the economy. The destructive power of collectivism. A major theme in the book is the destructive power of collectivism. Rand critiques government intervention, forced altruism, and the concept of self-sacrifice for the sake of the group. She argues that when individuals are required to serve the needs of others, whether by the state or society, they lose their ability to think, create, and live for themselves. In the novel, we see how a collectivist system that punishes the productive and rewards the lazy leads to societal decay. The disappearance of the greatest minds, represented by John Galt and his followers, illustrates the consequences of stifling creativity and innovation. Conclusion. Atlas Shrugged is not only a dramatic and engaging story, but also a profound philosophical treatise that challenges prevailing views on government, economics, and the nature of human existence. Ayn Rand's critique of collectivism and her call for individualism and self-interest continue to resonate with readers today, especially those who value personal freedom and economic liberty. The novel's ideas have inspired countless people to question the role of government in their lives and to think more deeply about the importance of personal responsibility, creative achievement, and the moral significance of self-interest. In a world where economic uncertainty and political corruption are ongoing concerns, Atlas Shrugged remains a powerful call to action for those who believe in the power of the individual and the virtues of rationality, creativity, and capitalism.
Be part of our journey. If you find our content valuable and inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Your support motivates us to keep going and bring you the best content, so don't forget to leave a like and share the video with those who might benefit.